Every day for the past 4 years, I've said buy Bitcoin, don't sell the Bitcoin. And so I think it's a very simple idea. I'm going to be buying more Bitcoin. I'm going to be buying Bitcoin at the top forever. Yeah, I'll be buying at the top. I'll be buying at the top. I'll be buying at the top. I'll be buying at the top forever. Buying at the top. I'll be buying at the top. I'll be buying at the top. I'll be buying at the top forever. Yeah, I'll be buying at the top forever. It's still less than $1 million a coin. You're getting a 90% discount from $1 million a coin. I'm sure that I will be buying Bitcoin at $1 million a coin, probably $1 billion a day of Bitcoin at $1 million a coin. And so I think it's a very simple idea. Just keep buying Bitcoin with your spare capital. There's never a bad time to buy it. It's going to appreciate against the dollar forever. Yeah, I'll be buying at the top. I'll be buying at the top. I'll be buying at the top. I'll be buying at the top forever. Buying at the top. I'll be buying at the top. I'll be buying at the top. I'll be buying at the top forever. 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 Yeah, I'll be buying at the top forever. Yeah, I'll be buying at the top forever. Every day for the past 4 years, I've said buy Bitcoin, don't sell the Bitcoin. And so I think it's a very simple idea. I'm going to be buying more Bitcoin. I'm going to be buying Bitcoin at the top forever. Yeah, I'll be.
GM everyone, we're back to the trading session again. Markets opening up. A lot more things greener than everybody anticipated. Bitcoin took a hit over the weekend, but like I said on Friday, this time around, looks like the beginning of the year loop has started again, where we get a pump at the beginning of the week, and we say this last week, like, hey, Trump is going to come up with something, and then oil is going to fall, and markets will be green on Monday, because that's what he does, right? On the weekend, he announced something big, like a ceasefire, and then to cool off the markets. And then in the middle of the week, or towards the end of the week, he's going to be fiery again. Oh, we're going to bomb them again, and Iran bombing. So I think it's going to be like this in a while. In fact, I actually think maybe it might be a good time to buy some crude oil right now with this minus 6% dump, because the war is not over, guys. Everybody wishes it was over, but unfortunately, it's not. So I will be giving you guys some updates and also some trade setups that are available that I think are opportunities, and also obviously showing you how our trades are doing. If you're not following, we're basically trying to grow an account from, I started an account with $30,000, and the goal is to build trading positions and trade it all the way up to $200,000. We have done this before last year with Ethereum. So this is not new, or it's not something that we cannot achieve. We've done it before. And I think we're going to do it again. We're going to do it again. And we bought some meme coins, a little bit of meme coins last week. And we are profitable on those, right? We bought a little bit of Ansem. We up 7% on that. And we bought a little bit of Cash Cat. We're just averaging in. And we have also made 14% profit on that position. So, you know, do we have any dust in this wallet? Yeah. CTO. So this one was Ceuta. I think it was based on this immigrant Spain story. So that failed. We lost 100% of our money in that one. I only bought one Solana worth of it, so I guess it's okay. So I'll be looking at a lot of things. And if you have any recommendations, any calls that you want to make for what to buy or what to study today, I'm definitely gonna look into that. No problemo. So to give you a heads up of the overall market, the stock market, especially tech, FANG stocks are pumping hard, except for Apple. It's not doing that well, but Google is on an upward trend. Microsoft is pumping. Amazon is pumping. Last week, the biggest mover was Amazon, and I was like, okay, maybe the move is over, but it seems like Amazon just want to keep going up. The only one that wasn't going up last week was Oracle. And I told you guys that, okay, Oracle is being slept on because, I mean, it's a good stock. And they just, the dividends were given away last week, I believe. I made an announcement here for those holding tokenized stocks on Binance. That is also very much happening. So it's time to enjoy the gains from the stonks. And as for BTC, let's actually look at the heat map for crypto. Heat map, crypto. So crypto also looking very much positive, especially for the large caps. Everything green from BTC to Ethereum. BTC just recovering really what it lost over the weekend. And BNB looking strong, hyper liquid, which lost a lot of value over the last week. Now it's also gaining momentum. I told you that 51 was a very good moment to accumulate some hyper liquid, which I did on spot. I'm DCAing into that. And then meme coins are basically struggling right now. You can look at Dogecoin here, pretty much red. A lot of the low caps are not having so much fun. Litecoin, a lot of red on there. Even Render and Ando. Is this today's Ando? Are we back to the, oh my gosh. So with Ando, we're now away from the 40 cents levels. We're now back to 30s. I always say 30 cents is a very good entry for Ando. Whenever you find it, I think it's always the right idea to cop it, which is what I like to do personally. So we're just going back in there. And now let's look at our Bitcoin position. So as you may know, I started with $30,000 in this account. I made 2 limit orders, which both of them were filled. And we're now just waiting for one more to fill. I think I have a limit order to buy at $62,000. This one has not filled yet. So I entered the first position was $25,000. The second one was $25,000 as well. Leverage with 5x, of course. And then if you look here, our P&L is not really that bad. It's like we have only lost $40. There was a day where we were over $1,000 down, of course, but brings me to my next point to say, if you're emotional with trading, you're just going to be making havoc decisions and then you lose on money simply because you're scared, right? If you're going to be looking at your P&L all the time and when it's red, you're panicking and you sell it, you're never going to get the gains. That's why my goal with these positions is to hold it for months. I'm not thinking about days or hours. I'm just building the position for months. I'll keep on adding to it. If it goes down, I just keep on adding to it. And then imagine by the time Bitcoin is at $100,000, how much money I'm going to make from this position. That is the smartest way to trade the markets, right? You just don't want to implement this strategy when it's like at the all-time highs, obviously. That is extremely dumb. But we're not in the all-time high. We're basically 50% down. And I think we're at a very good time to start building up our position. And then somebody here says, okay, so ChatGPT says there's no need for cloud AI for trading Nitrous Bull with OKX. It says that I can use OKX bots AI, Nitrous Bull indicator with webhooks, but I will have to subscribe to TradingView. Okay, so what this gentleman here is talking about, he is talking about, I think he recently acquired Nitrous Bull, which is the indicator that I use for trading personally. And it's an incredible indicator. Let me just show you what it does. It gives you signals. So like you see here, it says bull, which means it was time to go long or to buy. When the market is about to fall, it gives you an indicator for bear. And you can see even on Hyperliquid, days ago, it already made a call for a short. So it's an incredible indicator. It works on BTC. It works on all charts. So what he's asking is that, okay, it tried to give it to Cloud Code, and Cloud Code say, oh, you don't have to do this in Cloud Code. You can do it in TradingView, but you need a TradingView subscription. That's what he's saying. So you don't need a TradingView subscription, but you need a TradingView account. Okay, you need a TradingView account because Nitrous Bull will show up in your TradingView account. It's just that this is an indicator that's invite only. So first you need to get access to it. You get access to Nitrous Bull when you have a TradingView account. That's how it works. So without a TradingView account, you will not get access to Nitrous Bull. That's basically how it works. For those of you guys that don't know Nitrous Bull, you can find it at cryptouniversity.network. You go to tools and there's Nitrous Bull, and this is basically what it is. And you can see the P&L cards here on all the trades that were traded with Nitrous Bull. All right. And when it comes to tools, I keep repeating myself, but many of you guys need to know the crypto game has changed completely at this point, especially exchanges. If you're on smaller crypto exchanges, get your money out of there because many of them are shutting down. Ascendex shut down. Bitmart has shut down. BitMEX itself has shut down. So stop using the smaller exchanges. Now, when it comes to trading and you're like, okay, so which platform do I use for trading right now? Here's the deal. It depends on where in the world you are because, in Europe, now we have MiCA regulations. In the US, you have their own regulations. In the Middle East, you also have different regulations. So there is a way to do it. I have all the tools that I use myself, all the platforms that I use are on my website, greybtc.io. And here's how it goes. If you're in the United States, you want to build your own positions, you want to trade futures, Bitcoin, like what I'm doing here, you cannot use Bybit. You should be using Kalshi Perps. Kalshi, I know it's known for prediction markets, but Kalshi has now a Perps platform and it's legalized in the US. You don't need a VPN, it's regulated. All right. So you open an account, use my link there. If you do it, your first trade, if you make a trade with about $50, you get $25 bonus. So this is something that you must take advantage of, obviously. It's really great. And if you use Kalshi prediction markets, you make a prediction for $50, they're giving you up to $500 of a bonus. Use GrayBTC as an invite code to the people in America. This is the deal for you. If you're in Europe, Bybit is MiCA regulated, is licensed. That's what I use, and it's very popular, right? If that doesn't work in your country, use OKX. Incredible exchange, one of the top exchanges in the world. I love it. And then if you're trading meme coins, I'm currently using Fomo. So, greybtc.io, it's where you find all the tools and take advantage of all the welcome bonuses and so on. Okay. What's your idea about the new Bitcoin upgrade BIP 110? I don't want BIP 110 to go through. That's my take right now. I think right now we don't want to have any BIP wars because, the world is already too sensitive. If the Bitcoin community start fighting itself, we're just going to lose track of the most important things, and the price is going to collapse because, it starts the BIP wars, and then the new narrative will come to say, oh, quantum computing, and then we're just going to be into this downward spiral that we don't need to be involved in. So, I don't want that to happen. Someone here says fart coin. Yeah, it has been an incredible bad market for fart coin, but also for just meme coins in general. So, I mean, there is always a potential for a big comeback. And if you're a believer in those kind of coins, it's just a matter of accumulating and wait. I see someone here talk about SPX as well. It's the same game. If you're a hard believer, you just want to stick to it, buy when it's down, and then wait for your time, because usually the bounce back is much stronger. So for those of you guys that are wondering about this whole Bitcoin BIP 110 thing, BIP means Bitcoin Improvement Proposal. So developers, even you, anyone is welcome to do this. If you think Bitcoin is going the wrong direction and you have a better idea to improve it, you make a proposal, and then if more developers and more miners sign for it, then the proposal will go through, it will be implemented and becomes part of Bitcoin. If people don't want it, well, it doesn't go through. For example, one of the examples of this, we used to talk about this kind of stuff in 2017 and all that. It used to be very big. But an example would be the Bitcoin block size. A lot of people have been saying that it's too small, we need to increase it. And other people would say no. So that led into forks. People that believed in larger block size forked Bitcoin, and they created Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin SV, and Bitcoin Gold, and so on and so forth, which all of them failed. And then you have other people that still believe in Bitcoin Core, which is the one that you and I enjoy. And I'll tell you guys a funny story about this, right? In 2017, I remember when the block wars were going on, different people had created different kind of clans, right? So there used to be this guy, Roger Ver. Roger is like a friend of mine, a mentor of mine, somebody that I always look up to. I've spoken to him a couple of times. I met him recently. Last year before he got arrested. It was crazy. So, he used to come on my channel, on this channel, many times before, right? And then there used to be other Bitcoiners like Lorian Gamarov. I don't even know why I'm giving all this story. So Lorian, he lives in South Africa, where I used to live. He's also a big Bitcoiner. He used to be a contributor to the Bitcoin protocol. And this guy, I wouldn't say he got bought out, but he co-sided with Craig Wright. You may not know some of these figures, but this guy, Craig Wright, he came out in 2016, or he's an Australian guy who has been saying that he is Satoshi, he created Bitcoin, and he was trying to prove through the courts that he is the creator of Bitcoin. And the consequences of that was that if the court had agreed with him that he is the creator of Bitcoin, then he would have been legally assigned the status of Satoshi. And then you could claim a bunch of things, he could actually have access to some Bitcoin wallets through legal means. That's what it meant. But then, he lost all of those cases and so on. But he had a lot of influence and money. And then he had people like Lorian to start supporting Bitcoin SV. So the proposals on Bitcoin failed, so they forked it into Bitcoin SV. Now, the reason I'm telling you this story is this. I know people personally in my life that believed either Craig Wright, that he's Satoshi and he's a genius, this guy is incredible, and they sold their Bitcoin BTC to buy BSV. At that time, BSV was going up a lot, right? And these people were like, oh my gosh, I think Bitcoin BTC is going to go to zero, and then all the value is going to go into BSV. And then, there are other people that believe, like Roger Ver, for example, he believed in Bitcoin Cash, and Bitcoin Cash looked like it was working. So if you had Bitcoin like me at the time, you had the Bitcoin split, so you would receive a free Bitcoin Cash, and then you have to choose: are you going to sell the Bitcoin Cash, or are you going to sell the Bitcoin BTC, or are you just going to hold both of them? And you had people that sold all their Bitcoin BTC. They were like, yeah, it makes sense if Bitcoin want to be used as money. It needs to have a larger block size limit. So they went on with Bitcoin Cash. Years later, Bitcoin Cash, as you may know, is basically a basket case. Bitcoin has reached high limits. So the reason I'm telling this story is that, you have to be careful with these proposals and the fork wars, because you're one decision away from losing all your money. It can be, whatever you decide on, you never really know what the end is going to be. But I know people that sold hundreds of BTC, converted that to Bitcoin SV. Maybe they would just remain with 10 Bitcoin because they believe in those guys. And then you know what happened at the end? They lost all their Bitcoin. I can show you a chart right now of Bitcoin SV, right? From the beginning. Let's find an order chart on Binance, maybe on KuCoin actually, or even on HTX. If you go to the historical side of this stuff, you will see that it had a moment where it went up a lot. So check this out. BSV at some point, at its peak, it reached $539. All right. Now it's trading at $12. At the time when it was going up, because it started, from nothing, $50 or whatever, it went up a lot. And then, so imagine from $50 from 2020 to 2021, from $50 to $500, you made 10x. You believe that, this thing is going to the moon, it's going to dethrone BTC, and then boom, you're back to $12. And then Bitcoin Cash is the same. Bcash, you remember when Roger used to hate when people call it Bcash, right? And this was Bitcoin Cash. It started off really strongly, bro. Started off strongly. This is April 25. No, we don't want this, bro. We want BCH USDT maybe. We need to find an old chart on Poloniex, perhaps. Yeah. There we go. So from the beginning, have you watched that video? From the beginning, Bitcoin Cash came from 0 all the way to 500 back in the day. And then it rose to $3,000 to $4,100 at its peak. That was in 2017 in December. I remember like it was yesterday, right? And then it started going down, 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 and now we're back here at $214. The reason I'm giving you this story is that the block wars or whatever BIP proposals and BIP wars might start again. Be careful who you side with and who you listen to. Because I know people that went broke over this. Imagine if you had 200 Bitcoin, and then now you have all of it. It's, one BTC is at $63,000. But now if you had 100 Bitcoin and you converted to Bitcoin Cash, each piece is now worth $200. You are poor. All right, let's continue with our discussions here, with our movement. Hey, Gray, is CoinW safe? Yeah, it is safe. You have position there? Yeah, for sure, no problem. It just depends on what you're trading. If you're going to be trading like smaller coins, there might not be a lot of volume for a lot of liquidity on CoinW for those. But if you're trading the bigger coins, like you're building position on ETH, BTC, it's all good. You just have to not trade meme coins with in futures on CoinW, especially the smaller ones. LTech says, "What's up, fam? Just joined. Yeah, what's up, man? We're out here just hanging out. We're about to explore some trades, and then I was telling a story of the BIP wars because Stud of Wall Street here was asking about the BIP 110. So I was just sharing a little bit of Bitcoin history. If you guys got any questions or anything you want to talk about, bring it out. You can ask any questions, whether it's Bitcoin history, which I love so much. I can share so much. There's a lot of shit happen in this market, guys. Okay, I think I'm going to trade a little bit of oil as well. Might just open a long on here, man. Okay, so Nitrous Bull said bear a couple of days ago. Most people should have listened. I think, let's see. So the lowest oil has been, or the support level has been around $79, which is roughly where we are right now, actually. Has been where it's been bouncing back for the last month or so. But throughout the war, you could say on a daily. Okay, so there is a critical element here, which is $68 as well. All right, here we go. And there's also another interesting level, which is here at $87, which is where it roughly got rejected again. Look, what we know for sure is that the war is over. What's interesting about this chart is that you can literally see what's going. You can see phases, right? So this phase from May 29th up until now, this was the period when Trump said, "Oh, we now have a ceasefire. The war, we're getting it all resolved." The oil price has just been going down and down and down and down and down. But then it started coming back up because of the recent strikes. And these was all days of escalation. And now Trump has tried to cool it off. But I don't think this trend, the upward trend here, is just over yet. We have a temporary cooling on a Monday, but I do think that this is going to continue. So I'll open a trade on oil, but it's not going to be, it's not an overnight trade. I'll wait it out for a little bit until, if I get liquidated, then maybe it has to go down to $68. That's what I'm going to do. So that's one trade right there, which, by the way, you can trade this on a crypto exchange as well these days, right? So on Bybit, can you trade oil on Bybit? Yeah, so if you want to trade oil on Bybit, you just have to type oil. You'll find here it's CLU USDT. You don't need a broker account. You already have a crypto exchange. On Bybit, you can trade crude. Just type oil. CLU USDT. There you go. And with your Perps account, boom, you can trade it just like that. There you go. All right. And then on OKX is the same. I think on OKX is also, you can trade these ones. Okay, Centavo says, how would you advise someone to learn AI? To learn AI for trading, AI just in general, or AI for what? What are you referring to, sir? I can help you for sure. So go on trade. I think the most interesting trade this week is going to be crude oil, which is at $79 at the moment. All right, that's one. And let's keep on our analysis. So gold is also moving, but it's not that interesting today. There we go. Hyperliquid on a weekly is bullish, on a daily bearish, and on a 4-hour hyperliquid actually just went bullish on nitrous bull. So this is a very interesting point. A lot of people get this confused. This signal can change if the price of hyperliquid goes down before the close. So how much time does it have? You have to see what is going on there. You have to see, okay, how much time does this candle have? So it has 1 hour 49 minutes before it closes. If the price drops within that time frame, then the indicator will change. This candle will become orange. If it continues, it closes, then this means it's a bar close. Then it's confirmation that nitrous bull has now called it bullish. Then I can open a position to go long on hyperliquid, which I will do on this live stream as well, because hyperliquid is one of those projects that I like to trade as well, right? So that's another trade for today, simply hyperliquid. To learn AI for trading. So to learn AI for trading, you need to get, I know a lot of people use Claude. Claude is not the best anymore. And I'm one of those people that were using Claude, and I was making videos about it. But Claude is not the best solution anymore. You need to get a ChatGPT account. And then within ChatGPT, you need to start using Codex. If you're still using ChatGPT the old school way, I think you need to change it. Use Codex instead. Especially on desktop, even on your phone, you can switch from Codex to it's called remote compute, or what is it called on mobile? Yeah, it says something about remote PC or something, right? That's just Codex. So in Codex, you can do a lot more complicated stuff. For example, you can share with you install an extension in your browser, and Codex is able to control your computer to browse through, to click buttons. It will do all these crazy things. So you can actually just tell it that, hey, look at this chart and run a back testing and show me these, the results of this strategy. You can start something simple as that. And it will sort of create a model for you, and it will be doing all the work. So start with something like backtesting strategies or ideas and say, okay, if I had done A, B, Y, and C at these parameters or within these conditions, what would have been my outcome on this time period if I had X amount of capital, X amount of leverage? Or you can say, I have $100,000, I want to trade with it, and I don't want to lose X amount per trade, blah, 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 and I don't want to lose more than X amount per trade or out of my capital. Create a trading model for me. Be my quant, and it will be telling you exactly what you should be doing and how you should model your trades. You can start with something so simple, but you can also start, if you have good strategies, you can get AI to build some indicators for you too. Create your own tools that you can be using to simplify your trading life. You can also use it to create a dashboard. Say, hey, I'm trading futures, crypto, stocks, oil, blah, blah, blah. Create a dashboard for me and so on, and then it will do it. It's not that hard, it's just like talking to another person now. But you have to get a GitHub account, obviously, get a Verso account if you really want to take these things seriously. You have to, build and push code on GitHub and deploy via Verso or whatever you're going to use, so that you actually have a track record of learning, and you can also iterate the projects as you go. What are my thoughts on LM Studio? I don't know what LM Studio is. Looks like something out of AMD, I suppose. Is this the one? I see. Okay, so there are many things like this, So it looks like AMD launched their own application for running local LLMs. So I have a different take on local LLMs, right? I know they're popular. There are people out there still running their own Mac minis. I'm not a big fan of it because it's almost like running off your hard drive, which is what we used to do back in the day. You know, you had your music on your own hard drive and everything, and then you needed your computer all the time. I think we already evolved from that as humanity, as a civilization. We don't carry around files and hardware. It's like there's no way you're going to take us back there of having our own local language models. Sorry, I know it sounds interesting, but it's just like it's counterintuitive. So I am a big fan of remote compute. Whether you might have like some concerns of privacy and so on, like if you're worried about privacy and that is like the reason for your local LLM, it's like what do you have to choose between efficiency and massive compute versus your little privacy of like, oh, nobody knows what I'm working on, or no public language model knows my stuff. So don't worry about that. Use models that are already out there. They're the most advanced anyway, and they're making updates every single minute. So any BTC trade right now, buying, selling, or just watching? We're going to enter some trades on BTC actually. I think BTC is long until Wednesday, Thursday-ish, because I have a feeling Trump is going to come out with some nonsense, or some Iran war related stuff will happen again. So for now, until Wednesday, I think BTC long, right? If you look at it from the natural suppose perspective, BTC has been short since the 31st of July, which is last weekend. And right now, the current 4-hour candle is orange, which means that it has 1 hour 43 minutes to close bullish. And I think it will. It's going to be above 40. In the next hour, Bitcoin is going to be above $64,000. And that's green, and that's going to pump us all the way. Then we have to flirt again with $65,000. And, we might break out this week, or we might just not. I'm just going to enter the hyperliquid trade right now. I know there is a risk that, the conditions might change, but I think I'll do it. I would do it. And our Bitcoin trade is actually, we're now green, even though we have $33 in fees and realized profit. That's, unrealized gains we're losing, but it's okay. I think we're just getting started. Remember, anything above 65,000 Bitcoin for us, or even 64,000, is profit. So we're just waiting for that little moment where we escape velocity. Whoa, the hyperliquid trade looks juicy. I'm not gonna lie. Hype looks too good over there, man. Looks good right there. And then after that, we should look for new opportunities in the meme coins, because there are a lot of juicy opportunities in the memes as well. Just figuring out something with my AI before we push any buttons. The interesting thing about the whole AI thing, man, is that it's moving really fast. If you remember, a few months ago, I used to build tools and then I would just share them. But then that requires me to keep on updating them, even if it's prompts or whatever, because every month, every 2 weeks, basically, you have a big update in AI. So, like, nothing really lasts long anymore. You know what I'm saying? And then the big story comes in. Our legend, Michael Saylor, the man of the people, appears to have sold some BTC, and that is freaking a lot of people out. You know what I'm saying? So I think let's cover that as well. Does arbitrage still work these days? Yeah, it does, but in a completely different way. Maybe I should write some notes. I should make a video about that. Arbitrage video. Yeah, arbitrage trading is basically what built this channel. It used to be my strategy. I used to be a full-time arbitrage trader before. And, I made much of my Bitcoin, actually. My savings were made through arbitrage trading years ago. But it used to be much easier back then. You just needed jurisdictions or exchange arbitrage. Japan, Bitcoin was a little more expensive. And then in the US, Bitcoin was cheaper, but then it was more expensive in South Africa. And then it was a little bit cheaper in the UK. There was no consistent price of Bitcoin across these different countries, right? Even in the Middle East, in Dubai. So what we used to do, basically just used to do arbitrage trading at the time. But now it's a little more difficult because the markets grew bigger, so there's a lot more market efficiency. But it does exist in pockets, which I've talked about it here before. But tomorrow, I promise you, I will make a video about that. So before we continue, let's just go back to Twitter for a sec and visit our man, Saylor. Okay, so here's a tweet by Michael Saylor, okay? Last hour. When I say never sell your Bitcoin, I speak as one saver to another. I have never sold mine, not one Satoshi. Strategy is a public company, not my wallet. Since 2020, it has disclosed it might buy or sell BTC to manage capital. Our shared conviction in Bitcoin remains unchanged. Okay, Michael, you do sound a little defensive on that one. Okay, the narrative is starting to change. Okay, you used to say never sell your Bitcoin, and then you change to say, last time you came up with this one, when you sold, you came up with, before you sold for the first time, you came up with a new one saying, well, never sell more than you buy. And then now you change it again. Now you're saying that, oh, you know what? I didn't personally say, I was just MicroStrategy. I mean, Strategy is a public company, not me. Okay, so this is Fong Li, who is from MicroStrategy as well. He says, MicroStrategy MSTR is built to outperform Bitcoin over time. It has outperformed Bitcoin in every 4-year holding period since we adopted Bitcoin on August 10, 2020. Outperformance comes from growing Bitcoin per share. Oh my gosh, sir. Why are you changing the tune again and again and again? Like, the whole movement is built on hodl, never sell your position. But if the principle is now, but we have to manage our positions, then it means that you can wake up tomorrow and you have sold 20%, or you announce you sold 20%. Like, at this point, it's really difficult. I think it's not a good strategy anymore to just look up to Michael Saylor, the savior of Bitcoin. At this point, we have to find, we need new buyers, basically. Yeah, exactly. They're shielding their stocks at this point, like, MicroStrategy, and it's good for Bitcoin at the same time, but their strategy is different because they make money no matter what. They're still a public company and they have to make profits. So if you just type Saylor right now, you're going to see it all. Okay. 24/7 Wall Street says Michael Saylor can't stop selling Bitcoins as strategy unloads another 1,638 coins. For years, the corporate Bitcoin story was simple. Companies raised capital, bought Bitcoin, and hoped the cryptocurrency's long-term appreciation would reward patient shareholders. That straightforward strategy helped transform Strategy into the world's largest corporate holder of Bitcoin and turned executive chairman Michael Saylor into one of the asset's biggest evangelists. Yet, as Bitcoin has matured, Strategy capital structure has grown more complicated. The company's priorities have shifted. Its latest SEC filing reinforces the point that preserving financial flexibility, not accumulating Bitcoin, is what drives management's decisions. Investors shouldn't ignore the divergence from its original plan. I agree on that one straight up. This divergence needs to be studied. I remember the other day, Michael Saylor put out a tweet, says you need to add another color to your orange. I think that was a hint of saying, we may stop buying Bitcoin only. We're going to start buying something else too. Whether that's going to be Solana, Ethereum, who knows? But I can see that coming. You have to save this video. Trust me, this year, MicroStrategy is going to announce another coin that they will start accumulating. That's just my speculation. Okay. So here is another piece. Strategy MSTR stock rises as Saylor sells Bitcoin, boosts $4 billion in reserve. But what they're doing is just like they want to have some savings on the side to pay out the investors. And whenever there's a big opportunity, especially on a big dump, they will use the same $4 billion to buy more Bitcoin. That's just what's happening, ladies and gentlemen. MSTR. Okay. We're still, below $100 for MicroStrategy here, but at least they're seeing a little green day. What they're trying to fight, I think they're trying to fight this range right here, because if they don't, the future could be gloomy, right? They just want to keep it. Their goal is to keep the stock above $100. That's what they care about. Anything below that level, it's very, very dangerous. So maybe it's actually just a good trade to trade it around. But also, interestingly, whenever Bitcoin falls, you see, they also experience a big fallout. So that is another range you can trade. I think you're going to be buying the bottom here, $92, and selling close to 100, because there are so many traders that are making this trade. They have a sell-off, or there's some people that bought MicroStrategy at like $100. Now they're scared. They just want exit. So whenever it gets to $100, the sell-off has been insanely crazy. You can see here, that's where the price basically is revolving around. Strategy has a big sell-off at $100. So if you want, you can do a long up until then, and then after that, you can short it all the way to like $90 again. Which you can also trade. I think Bybit has MicroStrategy on it, MSTR. Or most exchanges have it now. Binance, OKX, and so on. Yeah, there you go, MSTR. It's up 1% today. So someone is asking, do I have a Telegram group? Yes, I do have a Telegram group, even though I haven't been talking about it much. It's called Internet Capital Markets. Let me share the link in here. I'll also put the link on my website. You can find the link actually on my website, greatbtc.io. Let's go there. And if you want to join the Telegram group, it's free. This is the group. You go through this bot, and then after that, it will add you to the group. That's how it works. So join the internet capital markets. And of course, I also have other resources on my website, which you can also find in the link below. You have, if you're in the United States, you want to trade Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the crypto futures and perps, Kalshi now has a perps platform. It's incredible. It's completely legal. You don't need VPN anymore. You can trade legally in the United States with Kalshi Perps. Right now, they have a campaign where if you use my link, you trade $50 only, you're going to get $25 bonus. And if you do the Kalshi predictions, $500, sorry, you trade $50, you're getting up to $500 of a bonus, right? Just use Gray BTC as an invite to get all those benefits. And then Bybit is what I'm using to trade in my account here, the one that we just started. It's available in most countries, but not in the United States. It's also available in Europe in some countries. But if it doesn't work in your country, in Europe, then go ahead and use OKX. In the UK as well, it's the same. OKX work in the UK and in Europe, basically they're MiCA regulated. For memecoins, I'm using this, Fomo. For hardware wallet, I use Ledger, the best in the world. You guys know about the whole story of people are losing 8 Bitcoin. I saw a story on Crypto University also covered about this. Not all hardware wallets are created equal. Let me show you something. Crypto University, go to news. There is an interesting story about, by the way, if you're in the Middle East, UAE especially, the government have launched the J1 card, which is UAE's first national payment card. So check out that story, is important. But there is something going on with a hack. People are losing money like crazy, left and right. Bitcoin. If you just type Bitcoin hardware wallet, you go to the news, Cord card. Before this breakout story, I had never heard of this platform, by the way, or this hardware wallet. That's why I like Ledger. Cord card hardware wallet hack drains $89 million, what it means for crypto self-custody. So just because you have a hardware wallet, it does not mean that you're safe completely. Especially all these unknown, I don't know if it's cheap or not, especially all these unknown hardware wallets, you have to be extremely careful, guys. People have lost money while using a hardware wallet. Can you believe it? Cord card. Cord card security adversary, SIDS generator and firmware at risk. Read. Okay, so they have put it on their website. But then what are they going to do to people that have lost money? That's what I want to hear. How much do these cost, actually? Let's have a look. Okay. I don't understand why anybody would buy this stuff. Okay. But I know you want to secure yourself, you want to protect yourself, but guys, credibility sometimes matter, you know? Imagine they're selling a hardware wallet, but they say batteries and USB cable not included. Now they want you to buy the wallet and you have to buy batteries and so on. Sounds shady to me. So people that were using this have lost money. I've seen some tweets of people that lost money from this hack. We can have a look ourselves. Yeah, here Jonathan Goodman here. He made a post about it. $1.6 million in Bitcoin was drained from my account on July 29th in the Cord card wallet hack. My Bitcoin was in cold storage. My keys were on Cord card device kept in a safety deposit box that had never been connected to the internet. These parts nerdy, but here's what happened. Hackers discovered a vulnerability in the part of the hardware wallet code used to create seed phrases. This allowed them to use AI to brute force guessing seed phrases. I was out I was at our cottage and heard about the hack today. No way this affects me, I thought. I logged into Wasabi software that lets me verify my Bitcoin wallets online. Right away, I saw lines of red transactions withdrawals, and I knew from 9:36 p.m. to 9:43 p.m. on July 29th, every wallet I had been emptied. 18.25245,043 BTC gone. That's just over $1.96 million Canadian. Perhaps the hardest part about this is that I did everything right. I never shared my seed phrases with anybody. My devices never touched the internet. Everything was kept in multiple safes and safety deposit boxes. None of it mattered, all because the hardware that created the seed phrase originally had one line in their code from 2021 that had a vulnerability. Wow. I'm filing a police report and a report with the Ontario Securities Commission, but I don't expect to recoup anything. A part of me is trying to make sense of what just happened or try to figure out a lesson in it. I'm struggling. $1.6 million is a staggering amount of money to have stolen. I guess all that I can think about right now is that I'm so damn happy that I'm an entrepreneur and that my earning potential is under my control. Mark my damn words. I will recover. Man, I love this guy. I don't even know him, but he deserves a follow. I'm going to follow him right away. What a good man. Okay, so perhaps some of you guys did not know anything about this story, but it's happening, guys. People are losing money even after doing everything right, like this gentleman. He had a hardware wallet, cold storage, never expose your keys online and everything, and even that, he lost his money. 1.6 million dollars. Lost all his money. Just like that. I feel sorry for him, and I wouldn't wish to any of my viewers to ever go through this, guys. So what can we learn from this? Is that having a hardware wallet is not enough. You have to diversify. Maybe have two different types of wallet. If you have a ledger, maybe get a Trezor as well. Or you have to mix between centralized exchange plus hardware wallet, just in case one of them can, gets hacked or whatever. Even ledger, perhaps, because what's happening with this kind of hack is that these guys are sending AI, give it strategy on what to do, and then the AI just keep on trying weird things 24/7. They don't even have to check anything. And then you wake up tomorrow, all your money is gone. That is extremely, extremely painful. But I like the attitude that this guy has shown. It's not he's not feeling any self-pity, like, oh, why me? Oh, they did bad. They just take it to the chin and be like, you know what? I'm out of here. I'm going to bounce back. I like that. And if you're going through any difficult time, you have to know that is the attitude you must have, man. I think, you can just see by how he looks, man. He's in shape, playing with his kids. It doesn't look like the type of guy who's just going to give up easily. Unhinged Habits. Okay, so he has a book out. Yeah, shout out to this man, Jonathan Goodman. He's a good man, no pun intended. But what he has gone through is something that, I wouldn't wish it on any single one of us. It's crazy. I've been thinking of starting like okay, you guys tell me right now, if I start a fitness YouTube channel, are you going to watch it? Is it worth it, or it's going to be a waste of time? I've been thinking about it for a long time. Because I think many people really get fitness completely wrong. It's so easy, but it has the whole industry of influencers and trainers, all these things that people don't need to do it. I think I can help people that are like that struggle with discipline, like myself. Like how can you be disciplined enough when you're not just naturally disciplined? I can help people like that, and they can lose weight, get into great shape. I'll try to do it. What is your advice of your meme coin? Great. Do I keep it or sell it? Well, what you do is up to you, but it's just been a very terrible period for meme coins. It doesn't matter which coin. Even the OG like fart coin has been going down only to the point that it doesn't even have any volumes in 24 hours. I mean, in 5 minutes sometimes. So we have to wait for the right time for things to emerge. Okay, fart coin is right here. There you go. So there is time for anything, right? For everything. You got time for meme coins. You got time where nothing happens, markets don't move, and you just have to wait. Right now, we're in the period where markets just don't care about us, and there is not much we can do about it. We just have to accept it. So, great BTC is still there. I've never sold a single coin. You can see it all on chain. I still hold all those coins. When the time is right, we're going to activate a campaign, and we're going to bring it back. Just a matter of time. What's the sales pitch for buying STRC over BTC? Now, this is a very good question. If you have no idea what this is, MicroStrategy basically is a software or used to be a software company that evolved to becoming a Bitcoin company. It's a Bitcoin treasury company. They just buy a bunch of BTC and they hold it, and they sell shares to basically raise money. And whenever they do, they buy more Bitcoin. Now, the question would be, okay, why would anybody buy that instead of just buying the Bitcoin itself? So there are two elements to this. Number one is that Strategy started this in 2020 at a time where Bitcoin was a no-go zone for institutions, okay? If you're an institution, you could not simply just go out there and buy Bitcoin. So you had to go through the means of MicroStrategy. So you buy their stock to buy exposure to BTC. That's one way to do it. What about individuals that could have bought Bitcoin for themselves? Well, the reasoning is that you receive dividends, payouts every month. So you have Bitcoin exposure through holding the stock, but you're also getting paid by MicroStrategy every month. That's how it works. So people are like, oh, I get two. I get exposure to Bitcoin, and then it's almost like DeFi. You remember during the DeFi days, you would buy some shit coin because you're receiving a larger APY. So you buy the coin so that you can we used to call it yield farming. But then over time, the price of the coin would just go down a lot. Like all this yield was being generated to you was actually, it got written off by the losses of the coin price. So that's what's happening to MicroStrategy. But it's good when Bitcoin is going up because you have double exposure. Your stock price is going up, plus you're also getting paid from it. So it is kind of worth it to a certain extent. It just depends on your strategy and how you go about it. I think for most people, it's not, because you still have a risk now. MicroStrategy can go underwater. Then you lose your exposure to Bitcoin, because you're not going to be the first one to be paid out. If they liquidate, you're better off just buying Bitcoin, really. But you can change. The good thing about it is that they have everything out here. Okay, they have everything in public, so they're not hiding anything from anyone. Bitcoin standard error return annualized. So annualized looks like Nvidia is on top. MicroStrategy is still second, returning pretty nicely for its investors. So it's not a dumb strategy, to be fair. It's just that bad things can happen and you just never know. You might just end up being, you can be collateral damage to this game. And I wouldn't want anyone to be, how do we find the orange dots again? To anyone joining us, make sure you subscribe to the channel. You know, that means a lot. It's good for the algorithm. Hit the like button, subscribe. There's so many benefits to signing up with us, you know, to like subscribing and following. Because I come up with a lot of deals for you guys on this channel. So this channel is good for your pocket. It's good for your money. But yeah, that is the strategy for strategies, for at least for MicroStrategy. I would watch it for sure, but wow, well, that could be a reason to use the LM Studio you were looking at. Less things online equals a smaller percentage of vulnerability. So this is true, absolutely. But that doesn't also mean that your local language model cannot have vulnerabilities. It can have. And if you're online anyway, you know, there is no running away from it. The thing is, being online, being on the internet is like social media, right? It's the network effect. You can say, you could save enough time, you could save a lot of time by avoiding being on Instagram and X because, you know, it's all a distraction, blah, 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 blah. But then the cost of not being online or not on social media is much greater, because as bad as it is, if you want to do business right now, you have to be there. You have to be online. You have to be interacting. You have all these people that never had social media accounts, like Johnson Wan, the founder of NVIDIA, right? He never used to have an X account. But now he had to join. Now he's almost at 1 million followers. You have seen people like Shamath and, you know, the All In Podcast guy, the Silicon Valley Cabal. All of those guys now, they have YouTube channels, they have X accounts, because social media is just very important. So you can say all you want, but AI is the same. You can say, oh, I don't want my AI reading my emails, you know, getting into all my files. But the amount of intelligence that you miss out, the amount of work that you can get done by exposing yourself more is just worth it for it to some extent. So you have to measure, obviously, the risk reward ratio. If you're hoarding billions of dollars, some of this stuff is not worth it for you. It's like, do you want to have a smartphone is a spy on your life, your iPhone or whatever you Android, people use Android still, yeah. If you're using these devices, they know everything about you. But now, you could be free, you could be more private, right? By not having a cell phone at all. But can you do it? What's the upside and versus having the phone? The phone has just more upside. You can make content, you connect with your family and blah, 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 blah. We can go on and on. So everybody saying, you know, MicroStrategy is underwater. I think they will eat their own words. These guys are going to make it. Mustafa BTC says, anyone holding men? Yes, I am holding men. I'm still holding. Anyway, let's go back to. So if you're just joining us, our main opportunities today that we have seen, Hyperliquid going long right now. I think it's a great opportunity going long today. Another one we have seen is going long on crude oil. It has actually gone up a little bit already, because I don't think that the Iran war is over. So I'm going to open a long position on crude oil. I know crude oil is not crypto, but now you can trade it using the same crypto platform that you use to trade Bybit, Binance, OKX, whatever. So why not? I trade everything now. And then you also have Bitcoin. I still have a buy limit at $62,000, as you can see right here, this orange line. Still waiting for it. Hopefully it goes there. If it doesn't, that's fine, because we already have two $25,000 positions that were already executed. So we in there, we're going, we keep it moving, right? Our account is going. We basically break even right now, roughly. Nothing much has happened, even though the position has been quite volatile, as you can tell right here, but we still keep it moving. I'm still waiting to activate an Ethereum position But like I said, I think $2,000 is going to be quite difficult to break. So I'm waiting for an $1,800 entry for Ethereum, and then I'll open my long position at that moment, which is somewhere around down here. It's not that far. And again, all the positions that I'm entering right now on the bigger coins like BTC and ETH are meant for long. I will be building these positions and hold them for months or a year, because Bitcoin is already down by 50%. So we are very likely closer to the bottom, if not hit the bottom already. Ethereum only has to go down by 3%, 3.2% for my price point to trigger my limit order on Ethereum. So we keep it moving. And then when it comes to meme coins, I'm not convicted on anything just yet on meme coins. So I'm exploring. There are a lot of newer meme coins. I created an account here publicly, you saw it, and I funded with the 20 Solana publicly, you saw it. And yesterday we bought some cash, on Friday we bought some Cashcat and some Ansem. On Cashcat, we made 41% profit. That position is still open. And on Ansem, we made 5% profit. Now, somebody might be asking, oh, you say that you're going to be a profit maxi right now. You're not going to be holding. Are you going to take profit right now on Cashcat? Maybe I should if I had entered this position with a significant capital, or quite big size, but it's insignificant to me. So I'm just going to let it hang there and expose, because 41% is a lot. If I went in with 10K, that was like a 4K profit. I would have just exited already by now. But on Ansem, also similar. I don't have any significant positions. However, my buying entry points have not been reached just yet. Like I said before, I think we can buy Cashcat at $20 million. And I also think we can buy Ansem under $100 million. Therefore, I am waiting. The only stuff that I'm going in with size right now is Perps. Get some water. Okay, so let's head over to Stockchain. I think I even forgot my password or whatever account I was using for this account. So it is what it is. Let's see if I can still remember. Okay, so in the meme coin trenches, in the last 24 hours, the peak has been Cashcat, number one. And then what else? Wow, it's like the the choppy flow and liquidity is insane. You have from $52 million. The next one is Virtuos and pretty much nothing there with a $3 million volume, followed by Ansem, 1.5 mil. And then you got What If. Okay. So yeah, starting today, I'm now going to bring back the Internet Capital Markets Telegram. It's going to be very active now. So if you're not part of the group, make sure you join in already. So in the last 7 days, you've got Robinhood Pepe. Okay, this is an interesting idea, but then that's already dead. Cash Cat still ruling. Virtuous, Pop Dog, and some cat pawns from what's this? Nothing that interesting here. WikiCat is going to $1 billion, just a matter of time. It touched 250 from 7 million end of last year. So, Prophet, what makes you so convinced about it? Because there are now newer coins that are being formed. Why would people's attention get rediverted from whatever is going on right now to WikiCat? Tell me about that, sir. WikiCat. But which WikiCat? I can't see it here on Deck Screener. I know there's a bigger WikiCat, not the small ones. Yo, is this WikiCat on base or which one are you talking about? Okay, I found it now. It's Wiki WKC. WKC, WikiCat on Binance BNB. What's going on the Binance chain actually? I see you. Now at $30,900,000, $900,000 liquidity. Okay, now this is interesting to me, right? I was working out some strategy of buying the complete dips. You know what I would do, guys? I'm going to create 10 different coins, a portfolio of 10 coins that are completely sold out. They're completely at the very bottom. And then I'm just going to put 30% up profit. It's just going to be TP 30%, no matter what the coin is. And then I'm just going to watch it for a long time and see how it goes. I can tell you that strategy is more sound than sniffing through new stuff every day. Because many of these coins, at least they have to bounce back or they have to get a little moment. It's like, WikiCat has been here before, right? It has been here multiple times. And it's basically a repeat of what it does. It goes down and then it gets a big pump all the way and then only to come down. So you can look at this chart, for example. Let me save it actually. I will buy this. WikiCat. It's on BNB. That's the problem also, because I think stream calls. There we go. Let me see if on Fomo I can buy it right now. But I like this chart. I like how the chart looks. I think because I'm on the Solana side, so I have to switch to BNB chain, right? I believe that's the way to do it. WikiCat coin. Okay, so this is not on BNB right now. Fomo, it's only on Solana and so on. Unless I'm missing something, but from what I can tell, it doesn't matter. Make sure you join me on Fomo, by the way. Link is available on my website, greatbtc.io. New version available. Reload. Go ahead. It has a great dev behind it. It's the #1 meme coin in Africa. Okay, interesting. I didn't even know that. Do you know the dev? If you know the dev, put me in touch with me. Put him in touch with me. I like to know devs, that cooks. My goal was actually to look at what's going on in the BNB chain. I think, you know what we need to do, guys? We need to find a chain that we have to dominate in the group, in the Telegram. Like, we had 2,000 people in that group. We can move markets this time around. We just have to decide that, okay, this is the direction that we're going for. I'll do a poll today in the Telegram group asking everybody which chain we should focus on and we should take over. Because if you look at the prices right now, everything is on the freaking floor. It's up for the taking. We can get in there on it. We can pick a chain. Either it's going to be Ton or it's going to be Base, Pulse chain. We can pick a Robinhood. We can pick any chain and be like, okay, this is what we're going to attack or to dominate. And then we're going to be playing within that range. We can basically move prices if we decide to. And we can just CTO any coin that we want. Look at this one. Chill Guy, $9.4 million. Vivood, like completely dead, no volume anymore. Oh, now I'm getting so many ideas. Now I'm excited. But I will show you also with Mudeng, for example, right? Completely cooked. Has been stuck at this price point for a long time. And the question is, can it go lower? Of course it can. But surely, it has to bounce back with like a double digit in one day, right? It's not too much to ask. I mean, look at it. So it's been going up for days. In fact, if you think about it, from here, like a little 5% in one day. No dumping. And I think this is just a matter of time. So I will just create a list of a bunch of coins that I'll buy the complete bottoms, and then I'll be selling at 30%, then at 50% profit, and then at a 2x. It might take a while, but it's going to work. So I'll also make a video about it, and we can have some fun. Because I got so bored with trading because nothing was interesting anymore that I don't even post on Instagram about trading. But with all these ideas that we have, I think we can have so much fun with it, guys. So let's freaking go. So one thing I say that in the Telegram group, we're going to make a decision on what exactly we should buy. That's number one. And then number two, I'll make a list of which coins to attack. Will Ton Chain be the next Sol for me? A lot of noise on X. I see the noise, but then I don't see the volume though. Telegram is a powerful company though, so you don't want to sleep on it. This is a very good, interesting comment. It's time to be honest. BTC play is done. It's not practical for investing in it heavily. This is the most bear market thing you can say. But it always feels like that when the bear market sets in, like I had my first experience of this in 2018, 2019. After I experienced the 2017 pump of Bitcoin from $3K to $20,000, I felt on top of the world, and then it crashed down to $3,000 again. At that point, I was like, it's over. It's never going to come back. Like those days will never come back anymore. But the thing is, human nature doesn't change. People will always go crazy. I mean, look, just think about this. How many people do you know that lose money at the casino or gambling on something stupid? They play all these aviator or all these stupid games that don't even know how the trading engine works or the logic behind it. Millions of people are engaged in degenerate, stupid ideas every freaking day. Now, look at trading, something that is, has a component of agency and skill, where you can actually you have a chance, you can be good at. If people believe that they can win a lottery, which has like 1 to 1,000,000 odds, don't you think they would think that they can also win in the game of trading? Surely they will. So I don't think the Bitcoin is over. It's just that it's in a bad time. It's a bear market. Once people start winning, the story gets broken, or even in meme coins, and everybody else is just going to be following. Oh, what are you buying? Oh, we're buying candy coins. I'm making the most money these days. Oh, let me buy me some candy coin. Which color should I buy? Oh, the blue ones are making more money. Okay, we're just going to buy that. That is human nature. So the game is not over. You just don't want to be giving up just before the biggest breakout. That's the mistake you can easily make in the market like this. That's why I'm starting early right now, building my positions, getting my conviction in place, making sure that I'm not, I'm more positive about the market right now. Okay, crude oil is going up since we started the stream. So I hope some of you guys, if you're in that trade or if you're thinking about it, I hope you have made your trade already. I think the war is not over. Oil is going to go back up. So I think that's a good trade. Now, this is a valid point. The thing is, now we're forced to margin trade it instead of traditional buying and holding. Now, there you're absolutely right. The capital itself does not flow into altcoins anymore at spot, and that is for obvious reasons. So we're forced to make money by trading futures. Obviously, like this is a very important point actually, because most people don't know it. A lot of people think that, okay, futures and trading perps is risky. I'm not going to buy that stuff. I'm not going to trade with leverage because it's too dangerous. I will lose money. Okay, great. Now they take their hard-earned money and they buy altcoins and hold and wait. Now, I can tell you, at least in the futures, you can make money. Or at least you can lose quickly and move on if you lose. People that have been waiting for their whatever coin they believe in to come up, they've been waiting for 5 years and nothing is happening. Look at Cardano. This is what the chart looks like. This is ADA right here. I can go all the way from 2020. Look at that. This is 6 years, bro. Cardano was at its peak in 2021. And it's just gone down only. So this is why I decided to be less of the altcoin trader and buy and hold kind of stuff and be more on the futures Bitcoin. Like what I'm doing now, I'm building a position because I know that Bitcoin, it will come up at some point. I just don't know when, but it will come up. So I simply build my position and wait. If that's what all I was doing in the last 5 years, I would have had tens of millions of dollars in the bank account just sitting there. But just like everyone else, I was heavily investing in altcoins. I was investing in the startups. I wrote a bunch of checks left and right. I would go to a conference, meet a bunch of founders. They tell me their vision. I'm like, yeah, this is the future. Boom, boom, boom. Sign the check, send them USDT. All I had to do at that moment was go on my trading account open long BTC. Whenever I want to invest in something, add more money to that long and just wait it out for months or years. I just feel like the whales have ruined BTC, like ANC did to South Africa in 30 years. So I believe it has capped. That's a very, very good challenging point. Has Bitcoin topped? Not really. The narrative itself might have tapered off. I think, if anything, Bitcoin has just exposed human nature to its full extent, that humans don't really want to be free because freedom requires responsibility. And Bitcoin has shown that, okay, if you give human beings complete freedom, they just don't know what to do with it. They want someone to stand there and tell them what to do, when, how much money they must be taken away from them, because managing their own keys is too much responsibility, self-custody. So they would rather just give it back to the man through a crypto exchange. Okay, humans aren't that responsible. So they've taken all this power and give it back to the institutions. From that perspective, I do think you're right. And it's not even the whales that ruin Bitcoin, it's the people themselves. We create the technology that allows you to never need a bank anymore, now exists. But we choose to bank it instead because of convenience and fear and lack of discipline. So, in that sense, I agree with you. However, there's a bigger play here where you have seen it in Iran, where when Iran had a bunch of sanctions on their transactions, they ended up using Bitcoin. So the hard laws and situations that inspired Satoshi to create Bitcoin are still valid. That humans are not free anymore in this bank fiat system anymore. We're not safe. Therefore, we needed something outside of it. We do have that. Now, what we decide to do with it, we don't know. Another important point is that AI is coming. AI is coming. And if AI is coming, AI is not going to have bank accounts. They will have to use some form of currency, and it's very likely to be BTC. Now, what's more interesting to me is, when it comes to AI and crypto, is imagine you have AI on your phone all the time, 24/7. Every app you use has AI in it. If you're making a transaction of BTC, whether you want to receive, to copy and paste, somebody says, hey, I want to send you one Bitcoin, send me your wallet address. When you copy that address, how do you know that the address you copied is the actual address you want to copy? Because AI can basically just fool you and give you a different address. And then when the Bitcoin is sent, it completely gets sent to another wallet address. And then you don't know, between the sender and the receiver, which one of you got fooled, because what you might be looking at on your UI UX is not exactly what you were intended to do. Who you're going to blame on that, I think it's going to be a very, very, very dark world when it comes to cybercrime. The solution to that, I have no idea. Okay, I'm just here looking for opportunities like everyone else. We just have to get rich, super rich, before all this shit happens, guys, because it's going to be a really, really, really complicated world. Okay, so according to Fomo, it looks like these are the most held coins right now. You've got Kate, Mars Coin, which I think I bought a little bit last week, Ansem, Pawns, Cashcat, Triple T, Tendies, Epic, GME, Stonk Broker. But now, look at these numbers. If these are the most held, bros, but the numbers are like $13 million and $5.4 million, that is extremely embarrassing. Funny enough, Bitcoin is making a comeback with $12.6 million market cap. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's time to buy all the dust. If you have some dust in your wallet and then it was coins that you were holding and they're still holding up, maybe it's time to buy some of them back. Because we have right now, what we're experiencing is Robinhood season. There has to be some base season at some point in BSC. When CZ starts pump tweeting, something is going to have to give. As much, remember, BTC was much smaller asset back then, so you didn't need much to move the price and make bank. Now you need size, and that's where leverage comes in. Yeah, that is a very good point. Exactly. It doesn't move as much, but with leverage, even the 5% pump is a lot, right? But if you think about it, it's actually the same game, just with leverage applied. Because if you were, let's say you're someone who says, I will not open a leverage trade of 10x or a crypto exchange. Let's say, I cannot put $10,000 10x on it. That's like a 100K position. Okay, I get it, but it's too risky. But the same person would buy some random coin for $10,000. Even if it was 5 years ago, the risk is the same because you were buying something that is very likely going to disappear. It's never going to exist anymore. It's just a spot coin, but it has no legs, no future, no fundamentals, just some coin. Just because you bought it spot doesn't make it less risky. Because either way, if it disappeared and it never come back, you lost your money anyway. Whereas with perps, you know that Bitcoin is going to be there tomorrow. Now the question is just about, is your trade going to survive liquidation, or do you have enough risk management? Right? Or if you're right, you're going to get paid for real. That is the only difference. So same risk, but different, of course. So Solana, BlackRock actually files with the SEC to issue tokenized fund shares on Sol. So I have a feeling, I think maybe MicroStrategy might actually start buying Solana. That's why they say, so add one more color to your colors or whatever. Let's find out. We live in strange times where this kind of thing happens and then Solana price doesn't even move at all. Breaking, according to Solana official page on X, breaking. BlackRock filed with the SEC to issue tokenized fund shares on Solana. BlackRock expanded its cash management strategy with the launch of BlackRock Daily Reinvestment Stablecoin Reserve Vehicle on Solana. The world's largest asset manager with $15 trillion in assets under management is bringing stablecoin reserves on chain. And the source is coming from the SEC website itself. Here we go, summary and prospectus and blah, 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 blah. Government websites usually look like they're made by the most incompetent people in the world. So that's why it looks like this. Okay, yeah, that's good. But I want to see price go up though. Solana, what's going on? I want to see number go up. Just breaking news for me is not enough. Yeah, you're right, man. Gone are the days where you could just hold onto some coin and then one day you get paid. Right now, you have to be a sniper. But that's why on this cycle, I want to be a profit maxi. I don't care about the story of the coin and who is in it. I don't care. This time around, I'm buying something just to make money. Example is the Fomo trade that I made on cash cat, right? If I had went into this trade with size, I made, oh, look, I put in $200 on Friday. Now I have $300 almost. If this was like a 10K trade, I was going to cash out right now already because I'm a profit maxi. That's how we're going to trade this time around. We're not going to have, you know, the whole hold forever and blah, blah, blah. Look at what happened to Murad. Murad had a bunch of money in his account. We can look at it now on look at what happened to Master Murad. I respect the conviction, and it's very important, but definitely the right thing to do was to sell the positions when they cooked, because you are now looking at a man who at one point was holding $60 million in his account here. Now he's down to 10 mil. And this 10 mil, he cannot even sell it because the moment he makes a move on any of this stuff, the catastrophe begins. Everything is over, right? So his portfolio used to be number one, SPX, followed by Giga. Now it's SPX, followed by Capsi, which he just received a bunch of it from Capsi, I suppose. It's basically an SPX account. And he was, you know, his positioning and story was right. It's just that the market changed, man, unfortunately. No, look, you can never give anyone financial advice, of course, but you have to adapt to the market, because I think in crypto you have two mindsets right now. You have people that wish things were like how they used to be before. I know so many of these kind of people. You know, of things used to be too easy and now the game became too difficult. At some point, I was one of those people too, because I was used to a certain formula of trading. And then when the game came, I was hating on some of the meme coins that, okay, every day something new every day. But then that is just the nature of the market. There is no easy way. Yeah, the market has changed me. And you have to do it. You have to change, because it's not going to come back. Like those days, like NFT days are not going to come back anymore. The buy and hold stuff is not going to come back anymore. Even the social trading that we saw in the last year, right, where Ansem was the top G and everything, that way of trading even is not coming back anymore, because the biggest play that we don't know yet is going to come in a whole different way. We cannot even expect it. You remember, what was the biggest play in the last 12 months? Or let's say in the last 24 months. Last year, one of the biggest coin was not a KOL driven coin. Do you remember that? I need you guys to, if you can clip this, make sure you clip it. In 2025, the biggest moments in meme coins were not KOL driven. It was not Ansem, it was not Murad, it was not Arthur Hayes, it was not anyone else. The biggest plays, if you remember, there were goats that shook the market overnight. It was AI driven. It just came overnight, boom, boom, boom. And then, you know, AI was on top of the world. It reached, I think goat went to $1 billion, I remember, at the top. Out of nowhere. Gotius Maximus. Here we go. It's now sitting at $13 million. At its peak, it was at $1.2 billion. Okay? It didn't have a proper KOL. It was basically, the narrative was AI this, AI that. And then after that, Fartcoin came in. It outperformed everything that people anticipated. This is my thesis for how meme coins evolve and how social trading works. It's always about something you don't even expect. Fartcoin came on top. It was basically one of the most successful. At its peak, it hit $2.1 billion. Or the KOL driven, even Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate could not pump a coin to that limit, to that extent. Even Iggy Azalea with her own coin, even though she had a bunch of support from all the KOLs, even Soulja Boy had launched her own coin. Like none of these guys could do anything close to what Filecoin did. Thankfully, on this channel, we found Filecoin at $40 million, right? We're early on it. Good. So I know some people are saying biggest play was Trump coin. Of course, Trump coin is a whole different category. We cannot mix it up with a KOL coin. That's a different game, right? But outside, okay, so we can say a KOL coin is Trump, blah, blah, blah. That was the biggest play. Okay, sure. Trump coin aside, what else was driven by a human being that reached those limits because, someone else was behind it? The most supported coin was SPX by Murad. He had the biggest story. He's a good storyteller. He was everywhere, and he still has big support by now. But still, he got outperformed by Filecoin. He got outperformed by Goatsy. So that is exactly what's going to happen again. The way meme coins work, if social trading works, is that it always takes in its own journey. Everybody was baiting strongly on crypto tokens, on like altcoins and ICOs, and then boom, overnight, NFTs came and they took everyone's money. Nobody saw that coming. So if you're going to be stuck in this whole odd world of like, this is how it worked before, and it's supposed to repeat itself, you're just going to miss out big time. You have to always be looking for something new. And then continuing on my AI thesis story, Filecoin came, took over, and then there was AI16Z. It came out of nowhere. Thankfully, we also got it here on this channel before it hit. We got it at $33 million. We were lucky we got it. But look at how the highest was $2.37, $2.3 billion in market cap. Nobody saw that coming. It did not have the same amount of, it didn't have really a KOL behind. It wasn't like a KOL driven. In fact, almost all the KOLs were not in the play. They were not even part of it. They were not holding it. They were not talking about it. They were shilling some Chill House or some other coins. If you want to be good at meme coins, you have to be good at finding new metas before they even emerge. And you're not going to find them through some KOL. You're not even going to find it from me. I don't know. Nobody knows. This is going to happen again. We're going to see a coin that comes out of nowhere and it goes to $5 billion. And everybody's like, oh my God. But once that plays out, it doesn't repeat itself. It's just going to be another thing after that. Good luck. Unless you're Trump, you can break the rules. But I can tell you, even if Trump launches the coin right now, it's not going to be as successful as Trump coin it was before, because in this market, you cannot repeat the same trick twice. You cannot repeat the same trick like again and again. And it's everyone's nature to want to just do what they did before, what worked, but unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. Big whales like Arthur Hayes, they have tried left and right to set up a coin and promote some coin to take it to the moon. It just doesn't work. Let's look at the KOL coins. This was launched when Andrew Tate was at his peak, Daddy coin. And it was going out of the world and say, I'm going to support this coin. We're going to do this. And if you hold this Daddy coin, I think he was saying something, if I remember correctly, he said something about if you hold a lot of Daddy coin, you're going to be having a share of his university online, something like that. Now it has a market cap of $7.5 million. It was actually drained because there is no liquidity anymore. No, sorry. I'm looking at the wrong coin here. Daddy, liquidity. Which one is real now? I might actually be looking at the real one. What the hell? If that is the one, then it's even more embarrassing. Yeah, Daddy Tate. Ladies and gentlemen, I was looking at the right coin. So imagine this coin. Now it went from, this was a big coin at that point. It was very popular. It has $7 million market cap, 800K of trading liquidity, and 5-minute activity is 0%. So it means that nobody is even trading it. That's what's happening. Do you think Eliza will do well? I don't know. I don't think that narrative, I think that narrative is cooked. It's not going to come back. It adds up to exactly the same what we're talking about. If the coin has enough liquidity, let's say it's doing at least $5 million a day, right? Let's look at something like Fartcoin. Okay, Fartcoin has $5 million of liquidity. It's still moving. It definitely will have its moment again at some point. You know, it's 132 mil. It's holding up nicely. It's not completely dead. But if we look at Eliza OS, is this the actual Eliza, the official one? Oh, it seems like it is. Yeah, there you go. It's now at $108,000 market cap. Yeah, it is. You can see my chart analysis from back in the days there. That is clear that it's cooked. It's over. So is it over for Hype token? No. Hyperliquid is a whole different animal. It's not a meme coin, but also it has strong fundamentals. It's one of the very few coins that actually have some value and some technical fundamentals that make sense and why it has to go up. I'm buying Hyperliquid at spot every opportunity I get. The lower it goes, I buy. My only fear is that if it ever happened that Hyperliquid gets hacked, things can go really badly. The project can be sound, but you also have to be aware of the technical reality. I used to be a big fan of Thorchain. Okay, when Uniswap came out, Uniswap still makes a lot of money, by the way. Uniswap came out, and then Thorchain came to introduce Bitcoin on-chain trading. Runecoin. If you watch my old videos, you see I used to be so pumped out about this coin. And you know what happened? It got hacked, and all the glory was over. I remember trading it. I bought it early in the day, like around $1 or so, and it went all the way down up to, I think, $18 or something, $20 at the top. And then now it's at 44 cents. And this is a real platform, right? It had millions of Bitcoins on its chain and people were trading it. And then you had some other offshoots of, like, what was the Bitcoin layer 2 that we used to trade on? I forgot. We had a purple logo. So you see, Thorchain is still running as a Bitcoin DEX, but it got hacked and people lost money. It's still here, but nobody cares anymore. The coin is dead. So the same can happen to Hyperliquid, and that is my only fear on it. Other than that, I love Hyperliquid. Okay, LTX says Bitcoin back to $64,000. We said it, that in the next hour, Bitcoin is going to make it. So good stuff, everyone. And then also, I believe Hyperliquid has now prevailed. Let's on the 4 hour. Yeah. So Nitrous Bull went bullish now because the candle, I think, has finally closed, if I'm correct. Oh, it has 25 minutes to go. If the price doesn't go lower in the next 25 minutes, this is going to be a bar close, which means Nitrous Bull has confirmed at 4 hours that you can, it's an opportunity to buy Hyperliquid. Not financial advice. I'm just showing you what the indicator is saying, and I'm opening along myself on it. All right. If you want to get your own indicator that I use here, Nitrous Bull, you can go to greatbtc.io. I have links to everything I use here, and it will take you to the official Nitrous Bull page on Crypto University, and you can get it from here. You only pay once, and then you have it for free in your trading view. You can see a lot of results here for people that use it. It works on crypto, on stocks, on oil, whatever you trade on, it doesn't matter, on all exchanges. So go ahead and get yourself some nitrous pool right there. Do you still believe in Ando? You barely talk about it nowadays. Yeah, the reason why I don't talk about it much because we're in a bear market, and this is what you need to understand. Bitcoin has to do well for everything else to win. That is why even on my current trade that I'm streaming right now from $30,000 to 200K, my focus is on Bitcoin mainly. Why? It will take some time for Bitcoin to cook, and then all the other coins are also going to come back and start cooking. Until then, we're still in Bitcoin territory. If Bitcoin fails, Ondo or nothing else out there is going to move. So right now, it's all about it's just all about the time for Bitcoin to take over. Gray, I think you're a bit too negative, don't you think? No, I'm not. I'm just too sober. For a long time, for a very, very, very long time, I was living under the belief, and it feels good, living under the delusion of believing something, and it feels good. It's safe. It's human nature. But now I'm actually more sharper right now. I'm a profit maxi because I lost so much money, or I gave it back to the market. I would make hundreds of thousands of dollars on a trade and then watch it all go down to like $10,000. And then I can only cash out the 10K because I was emotional about I believed in my positions. Right now, I'm a full profit maxi. I accept the market for what it is. And it's true that the plays don't repeat themselves. That's why any project that is a copycat of something that came before it always fail. How many projects try to imitate Ethereum? You got Cardano. There's a graveyard of all the Ethereum copycats out there of people that co-founded Ethereum. You got Cardano, you got what's Gavin's project that he launched? We don't even remember the names. That's how irrelevant these ones have become. A bunch of projects, layer 2s, Arbitrum, Optimism, blah, blah, blah. All of them cooked. It's not even the meme coins only. It's just everything. Every copycat project in crypto doesn't really do that well historically. So my point is not that meme coins, we're not going to get rich off them. My point is just that you have to shift your mindset from trying to repeat the past, because that is what has kept millions of people broke in crypto. They keep repeating the same thing and then sitting down and waiting that it works. But then the opportunities come, but they come in a different fashion. So imagine someone who came and say, oh, I'm waiting for my XRP to go up. Or someone that says, I'm waiting for my Pepe to go up to the moon again to break new heights. It's an OG meme coin and all these narratives. And while they at it, another coin came out by the name of AI16Z or GOTSI. What do you think they would have said? They would have said, this coin, is all nonsense. It's not even interesting. It has no history. The founder is not an OG. He doesn't have a social media following. Therefore, I'm just going to pass on it. Who is that guy? And then they miss out on $2 billion market cap. So I'm just more open-minded at this point and sober at the same time. All right, the Crypto University update looks nice. Thank you, sir. Been pushing out a lot of code every day. I'm coding till 3 or 4 a.m. these days. I mean, I love AI because of that. I feel like I'm back to when I was broke in Cape Town in a little room with my little computer that switches off every few hours and, trying to write some code. Back then it used to be manual code, so all night you spend all night trying to fix one page of the website. But right now, bro, with AI, you just pump in codecs and you're building 5 projects at the same time, left, right, and center. The word of abundance is coming, guys. It's coming very, very soon. So it looks like AI16Z has rebranded, or perhaps maybe this is even old news. Oh, 9 months ago. Oh my God, yeah, that's old as hell. Old. And by the way, on Crypto University, there is now a deals page where if you want to look for new deals, you can simply click on deals and you will see what all exchanges are doing. If you're a VIP trader, there is an OKX VIP deal where you can win Formula One tickets to go watch the Grand Prix. OKX is a sponsor of McLaren F1, for those of you that don't know. And then Bybit has the Bybit card, which works in your Apple Pay. You can also get a physical card if you want, and you're getting 10% cash back on that card. And you've got other deals. You've got Hash Hedge right here. If you're looking for trading capital, you get 20% off on the challenges if you use Great BTC as a discount code. You also got AI tools like Manus, Riplet, all the stuff that I use. It's all there. And VPS, I use Hostinger personally because I don't like running local language models. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, I think it's just a waste of time. So go check it out. There's a lot of good stuff. You can go to tools. If you're in a country and you don't know how to cash out your crypto, Crypto University has a tool that you can use to find out exactly how to find the right exchange. Let's say you're in the Netherlands. How do you cash out crypto? It's showing you Bitvavo. Then you just click on the link. It will take you to that website. If you're in the UK, okay, you got Kraken. You got Kraken here is an option. Are you in the Middle East? In the United Arab Emirates, you got BitOasis, OKX. You got all the options. If you're in Nigeria, perhaps. You got Luno in Nigeria. I think if you also go in South Africa, you got Luno, you got Valor, and you got, I think, Binance P2P. And then if you go to the United States, okay, I don't know what's happening there, but it should be able to find some. And right now in the United States, you're looking at Kraken, Coinbase, and so on. What opportunities have been repeating in crypto up to date? It is a waiting game at the moment. So the only things that have repeated themselves is Bitcoin. That's why I'm telling you guys, the base strategy that's safe in my books is to just long Bitcoin, but you don't want to do it at its peak. You want to do it at this time because the theory or the thesis is that, okay, Bitcoin is going to go up anyway. It has to go to a new all-time high at some point. Instead of sniffing around and trying to find what is the right coin and so on, you just look at what's true and what's given. And I'll show you my thesis right here. Okay, Bitcoin was here at its peak, right? Now, for it to go back, Bitcoin to go back to its peak, let's say it takes a couple of months for Bitcoin. It takes a couple of months, let's say, until December to go to even $100,000, right? It's not new all-time high, but it's damn high, right? That is already a huge price point. It's a huge price movement. You're looking at about 58%. Now, if I have a 5x leverage long on Bitcoin and it goes up 58%, geez, bro, you can imagine how crazy of a trade that is. So the only risk to my trade is that, okay, Bitcoin could go down so much and then I lose everything. I lose the position or I get stopped. The good thing, though, is that the price might start going up. And let's say it hits $75,000. It means now that the possibility of losing, or even if it goes to like 70,000, right? Anything above $64,000 for me is profitable. So it means that by the time it hits 70,000, now I have like a $5,000 price movement of safety, margin of safety, which means losing money becomes impossible because I can just break even, right? If I put a stop loss on it. So it's a risk still, but it's more manageable. It's not an altcoin where I'm like, it might work, it might not work. It's surely going to go up one day. I just want to make sure that I open the trade at the bottom or close to it. I think now more than ever, you need to be a dual threat, master perps and holding the right coins. Absolutely. And the master perp coin is BTC because it's there and it's the least volatile one in the crypto space outside of stable coins, of course. And then for everything else, it's all, it's like for meme coins, you can play around. You can, with those games, it's a little bit of skill and luck to break through it. And you just have to play the game many times to actually get a lucky break. So you're still going to play meme coins and everything, but I think the structure, at least for me right now, is build bigger positions of Bitcoin and hold them for a long time and wait. What point should BTC reach for you to feel comfortable longing altcoins? Let's look at the chart, but I think it's somewhere around $80,000. I mean, I can long some alts like Hyperliquid and stuff like that, but what would be the point of longing many of these altcoins? I can long Ethereum, surely. I can also long Toncoin. Surely I can long ADA because I think the bounce back is going to be greater. In fact, it's now bullish on Nitrous Pool, by the way, Cardano. We shouldn't be surprised when it pumps up. But here's the game. Let's look at a coin that I like to trade. I like to swing trade this coin called, what is it again? Let me find. Gala. It's called Gala. It's like a gaming token. I don't even know if it's still having enough volume these days, but it's listed on Binance and OKX. This is what it looks like right now. Oh my God. I love trading Gala. And the way I trade it, I've traded for years right now. Look at this line right here. I was trading it back then when the price was that high. Okay. If you watch my old videos, I printed so much money on Gala. All I do on Gala is that I buy a bunch of it and then I just wait. I just sit down and wait. And then I put a limit order at 2x when the money doubles. And then, long and behold, you find a day where it just pumps out of nowhere for like days. And then my limit order kicks in. I've taken profit. But then I have to implement this strategy at the right time because do it wrong, as you can see, just been going down for a long time. At this point, I don't even know if it can really go down continuously, right? So it comes back to, let's go back to Gala. How actively is it being traded right now? What's the daily volume? You see, Gala is still there. It's trading every day and with a volume of $16 million per day still. How crazy is that? And it's down 88% in the year, 26% on the 30 days, 11% on the 14 days, and the 5% on the 7 days. That is Gala right there, right? It's still trading on Binance, on Huobi, on Bitmart, and so on. So why would I have to long with perps on a coin like this when I know that when it strikes, it's more likely going to do like a 30% in one day? I'll rather just wait at spot. I'll buy it at spot and then just wait. And then when it starts pumping, then I add like a 3x leverage to it. Because if you look at some of my screenshots from Nitrous Bull, actually, some of them were coming from Gala because I killed it on that coin. I even went with leverage, I think. Let's see if that trade shows up here. Yeah, here you go. So I had a 3x leverage on Gala. It made 107%. And I had a big position on it. Big position, like hundreds of thousands of dollars. So I had basically I had a 250K on it and it doubled. And I think I should do it again. So I will be sharing all the trades that I'm going to swing in the group. Make sure you join the Telegram group. Link should be on my website, greatbtc.io. All the tools that I use also are available here, greatbtc.io, including the trading platforms. And like I said at the beginning, crypto has changed. It matters where you live right now. It's no longer just a global thing. If you're in the United States, use Kalshi Perps. Kalshi has launched a purchase swap trading platform similar to Binance. And it's incredible, and it's legal in the US to trade on it. And they have a campaign. You create an account and trade for only $50. They're giving you $25 bonus. So take advantage of it. Similar to Kalshi predictions, if you're going to trade on Kalshi in the United States, you trade $50, they're giving you up to $500 in bonus, up to $500 in bonuses. Just use Great BTC as an invite code on basically any platform. Bybit, it works where I am right now. It works in Europe. It's MiCA regulated. Make sure you use it. If it doesn't work in your country, in some European countries, use OKX, of course. And the Nitrous pool that I use is also available here. And some of the most important tools, like I said, you've got the Cash Out Crypto on Crypto University. You've got the exchange list here. On Crypto University, you can filter them based on country as well, decentralized, centralized. So you can also compare different exchanges on Crypto University right now. You select whatever you want. And then you just click compare, and it's going to do the comparisons and so on. Okay. You also have the MiCA tool on Explore. You can see the MiCA tracker to see which crypto exchanges are MiCA regulated. This is more important, especially if you're in Europe. You can see Binance here is not legal in Europe anymore, so you can't trade on it. So you have to find something that is MiCA regulated, like Bybit or something like Kraken. All right. All right, guys. So I streamed for 2 hours today. I'm super pumped to be back in streaming every day, and I will also see you tomorrow. I might stream again maybe later, but we locked in today. We have a $62,000 entry on Bitcoin, which has not kicked in yet. Let's see how Bitcoin closes. I think it's going to keep on going up until Wednesday or so, and then Trump is going to come up with his news, and it's going to mess everything up. Today, my biggest trades that I'll be executing are the oil trade. I'm going to go long on oil, which I can trade it on Bybit anyway. Okay, in TradeFi. I'm also going long on Hyperliquid. We're waiting for the candle to basically just close on the 4 hour, and then I should be all in that. But for now, I'll see you later, and peace out. Make sure to follow, subscribe, and like the video, guys. It means a lot in the algorithm. Peace out. And let me know, do you prefer just a voiceover type video, or you want me to be putting my face on it? I just think that sometimes the face covers the screen, and I always need to put on my makeup to look my best, and it's tough. Whereas, with voice, it's just much easier for me. I just, sit here with my headphones and just talk. So you let me know, and then we're just going to follow that format. Join the Telegram group. We're now back to trading every day. We're going to lock in, and it's an everyday event. It's an everyday official, everyday ritual for us to trade every day. So join the Internet Capital Markets on IG. Both face brings aura, and some other people say the face covers the screen. Okay, so maybe we can do a little bit of mix, just depending on what we're doing on that day. For example, we can do pump yourself before you pump your bags on video, and then after that, we do screen only. I like that idea. Mansion Bit says this is better because we can see everything. I mean, it's easy for me too, to be fair. Being on video requires you to sort of be acting. So it's sort of like you're recording and acting at the same time. And that can be really hard. But hey, man, stay locked in and stay motivated. The market is back. We just have to start acting early. We don't want to be catching up to anything. We're seeing all these bullish signals everywhere and setups being cooked. And we have to act early. That's what we're doing. Peace out.